All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into subliminal messages for like personal growth.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've always been kind of skeptical about this stuff. But the article you sent over has got me thinking.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way at first. Subliminals, they kind of have that mysterious vibe.
For sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
but when you get into the science behind it, it's actually pretty fascinating.
Yeah, no kidding. So the article jumps right in talking about how these messages, whether we hear them or see them, they're designed to like bypass our conscious mind and get to that subconscious level.
It's true, and the article does a good job explaining why that even matters. It's
Right.
because our subconscious minds are really powerful.
Totally.
They shape so much of who we are, our beliefs, our habits, how we just automatically react to the
It's
world.
like when you randomly remember a name you'd totally forgotten.
Exactly.
That's your subconscious working its magic.
Right, and it makes you think, like, if we can tap into that power with these subliminals, what could we actually change?
Yeah, totally. And the article goes into those different types of subliminals too,
Yeah.
like mainly audio and visual ones, right?
Right, and they each play on our senses in a different way.
Okay, so we're talking about like hidden messages in music or those quick images you sometimes see in films.
Exactly.
Okay, the movie thing's making me think like sci-fi thriller here, but
Huh.
let's bring it back down to earth. The article talks about using subliminals for like boosting your confidence or improving your focus,
Yeah.
even getting over your fears. It's like you're giving your mind a little nudge in the right direction, right?
Absolutely. And what I think is super interesting is how the article highlights all these potential benefits of subliminals for different personal growth goals.
Okay.
Like, it's not just about, feeling good,
Yeah,
although that is definitely a bonus.
sure.
It gets into how they can actually help you get better at things, break those bad habits, and even just improve your overall well-being.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself like totally nailing a presentation at work or finally sticking to that meditation routine I've been putting off. But how does it actually work? I mean, the article mentions something about repetition and reinforcement.
Exactly. It's not about some overnight transformation. It's more about consistently putting these positive messages in front of your subconscious over time.
Okay.
The article actually compares it to watering a plant.
Interesting.
Just a little bit each day can lead to some serious growth down the line.
Okay, so it's less about hoping for the best and more about actively giving your mind those positive affirmations and suggestions.
Exactly.
But I'm guessing it takes more than just hearing a recording a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure. Consistency is key here. The article talks about how our brains are literally wired to adapt and change based on the information we feed them.
Right.
They call it neuroplasticity.
Oh, wait.
Basically, our brains are like clay. We can mold them with our thoughts and experiences.
So with subliminals, we're kind of like reshaping our thought patterns by slipping in those positive messages.
Exactly. It's like creating a whole new groove in our mental record player.
I like that analogy.
It's about shifting those old limiting beliefs and opening up space for new, empowering ones. And the article suggests that subliminals can be a really powerful tool in this rewiring process.
It really does make you wonder about the possibilities, but of course, I got to ask, are there any downsides to consider with all this?
That's a really important question, and it's something the article definitely doesn't shy away from.
So we're not going to be like sneaking subliminal messages into political campaigns or anything.
Right, no mind control scenarios here.
Okay, good to know.
The article really stresses the ethical side of things, especially when it comes to informed consent and transparency.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, if you're using these subliminal products, you got to know what you're actually listening to or watching.
For sure, it's about making conscious choices, even when we're talking about the subconscious.
Yeah.
But let's say you are using subliminals responsibly. The article also talks about how to get the most out of them.
Exactly. There's a whole section on that.
Okay, cool. So what's the secret sauce?
Well, one thing the article digs into is the connection between subliminals and our brainwave states.
Brainwave states. Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down for me.
Sure. So basically, our brains are always active, right? They're
Mm.
producing these electrical impulses that create these wave-like patterns, and different brainwave states kind of match up with different mental states.
Okay, so like when I'm laser focused on something versus when I'm totally relaxed.
Exactly. And the article suggests that certain brainwave states like alpha and theta, they might make us more open to these subliminal messages.
Interesting.
These states are often linked to things like relaxation, meditation, even creativity.
So it's like our subconscious is more willing to listen when we're not so guarded.
Exactly. Now, the article doesn't go as far as to recommend any specific brainwave entrainment techniques or anything, but it does highlight how important it is to create the right environment for subliminal listening.
Okay, so like light some candles, put on some calming music, create a little sanctuary for my mind.
Exactly. It's all about finding what works best for you. Some people find that meditating or doing some mindfulness exercises beforehand can really help.
Makes sense. It's like prepping your mind for a deep dive, literally.
Right.
But what about the messages themselves? The article talks about crafting effective affirmations.
It does, and that's where things get really interesting
That
because the article emphasizes that the language we use, even subconsciously, can have a huge impact on our thoughts and
So
behaviors.
it's not just about repeating any random phrase. There's an art to it.
There really is. The article talks about using positive present tense affirmations that are super specific to your goals.
Okay.
So instead of saying, I want to be more confident, you might say, I am confident and capable in all areas of my life.
It's like you're talking directly to your subconscious, telling it what you want to believe.
Exactly. And the article also stresses the importance of not just thinking those affirmations, but really feeling them.
Okay. How do you do that?
Visualization can be a really powerful tool for that.
So, like, if I'm listening to a subliminal about attracting abundance, I might actually visualize myself living that abundant life, feeling grateful for everything.
Exactly. The more vivid and emotionally engaging those visualizations are, the more impact those subliminal messages are going to have. It's like you're creating your own mental movie.
That's pretty cool.
And you're the star
I like it.
living out your dream life.
Okay. But am I guessing it takes more than a few visualizations to make a real change stick?
You're absolutely right. The article talks about the importance of consistency and repetition. It's like building a muscle. It takes time and effort to see results.
So no quick fixes here. It's about making subliminals a regular part of your life.
Exactly. The article even suggests incorporating subliminal listening into your daily routine, while you're working out, commuting, even doing chores around the house.
Like those messages are working their magic in the background of your life.
Exactly.
I like it. But are there any like real world examples of people who've actually seen success with this stuff?
Oh, yeah. Definitely the article's got some pretty inspiring stories in there.
Okay.
One that really stuck with me was about this woman who used subliminals to get over her fear of public speaking.
Wow.
She went from like totally freaking out at the thought of presentations to confidently giving a keynote speech.
That's amazing.
Okay.
It's proof that this stuff can actually make a difference in people's lives. But let's be real, not everyone's going to have some magical transformation, right?
Of course not. It's important to keep your expectations realistic. The article makes it clear that subliminals aren't a magic bullet.
Right.
They work best when you combine them with conscious effort and action on your part.
So you're not just passively waiting for change to happen. You're using subliminals as a tool to support your own personal growth journey.
Exactly. It's like that saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Right, right.
Subliminals can give you that guidance and encouragement, but you got to be willing to put in the work.
That makes a lot of sense, taking ownership of your own journey.
Mm.
But I bet some people might feel a little overwhelmed with all this. Like, where do you even start?
Totally understandable. The world of subliminals can be a bit of a maze. The article gives some good advice for navigating it, though.
Okay, what's the roadmap look like?
Well, it starts with your intention. What are you actually hoping to achieve?
Okay.
Once you've got a clear goal in mind, then you can start exploring different subliminal programs or even think about creating your own affirmations.
So it's like any other area of self-improvement. Do your research experiment a bit. Find what works best for you.
Exactly. And remember, your intuition is key here. If something feels off about a certain program or technique, trust your gut and move on.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
For sure. There are definitely some shady characters out there.
For sure, but there are also plenty of reputable resources, too.
Okay, good to know. So it's all about finding that balance between being open to new things, but also being cautious and informed.
Absolutely. And don't be afraid to reach out to someone you trust for guidance. Whether it's a therapist or counselor, even a friend who's had some experience with subliminals.
It's like having a co-pilot on your personal growth journey.
Exactly.
Well, this deep dive has been seriously eye-opening. We've gone from being a bit skeptical to really digging into the science, the potential benefits, even the ethical side of subliminal messages.
It's been great exploring this topic with you. It's clear that subliminals offer a really unique path to personal growth, one that taps into the power of our subconscious minds.
For sure, if anything, this conversation has shown me that we still have so much to learn about ourselves and the incredible potential we all have.
I totally agree. And who knows, maybe those subliminal messages are already starting to work their magic, guiding us towards a more empowered and fulfilling life.
I love that thought to our listeners. If this deep dive has sparked your own curiosity, don't be afraid to explore further. Do your research, set your intentions, and most importantly, trust the journey. You might be amazed by what you discover, Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.